What's going on, guys? Kyle Stout here with ElevateAndScale.com, and in this video you're going to learn exactly what questions you need to ask to get inside the heads of your ideal customers and to craft a brand story that resonates with them. Okay, so as you're coming up with your brand story and you're creating your new marketing message, the most important thing is you really need to understand your customers and the people you're targeting, because otherwise, how else will you craft a message that resonates with them? So that's really that's actually what we spend the most time on whenever I do my workshops with clients, is spending time on really digging into the insights of what's going on with their customers, what they want as it relates to their product or service, their problems that your product or service can solve, what their current situation is, what their education level is on what you offer, like meaning have they already bought something like what you sell and now they're looking to maybe upgrade or go for something that's cheaper or whatever, right? Or they just have no clue and you need to educate them while also trying to sell them on it. So these are things to consider. So the most important questions, it really comes down to the age-old thing of digging into features versus benefits, or if you've ever done any of these customer avatar or buyer persona type of exercises, then you've heard this before. But you really need to understand what they want to get as it relates to your product or service, and the problems and the non-emotional and emotional problems they're dealing with that you can help resolve for them. So just to give you some examples, I'll talk about my clients. So you want to make a list of what they want. So for me, with my clients, I know what they want. They want to grow their business. They want to have systems that can be automated. They want to systemize things because they want to save time. They tend to want to work a little bit less. A lot of times, by the time they're talking to me, their business is somewhere in the mid 6 figures, low 7 figures, and a lot of that has just been off of their own hard work and them just being really good at what they do and taking care of their customers. But they're at a point where they just can't put more time into it anymore. Their growth is limited. They've just hit a point where they can't add more to their plate. That's not going to be the way for them to grow. They need more systems. They need some more automation if they can have it. They need to, they need to be able to. They want to get into position to scale. So those are some of the things they want. There's more, but I'm not going to waste too much time there. Then looking at some of their problems. So one is, a lot of times they're just really not an expert on marketing. It's not their thing. They're really good at what they do. They really understand their product or service, but marketing is just either it's never interested in them, or it's just not their skill set. Another problem is that they're trying to figure out what to do with their marketing, and they've been doing research. They've been going on Google and YouTube and everything, and they're getting pulled in a bunch of different directions, and they have no idea which way to go. And so they could be either just distracted, or they could be suffering from shiny object syndrome, which a lot of business owners like myself have been guilty of in the past, where they try one thing, but they don't really stick with it long enough or, execute it all the way to really see the results. And they immediately get distracted and go to this other thing, and now they try that thing, and then they try something else, and they never really see any of those things through. So over the course of, let's say, 6 months, it feels like they've tried all this different stuff and nothing worked. And truthfully, they never took the time to understand any of those individual marketing tasks or activities to, really know what was working or what wasn't working. And then the next thing is you ask, okay, so how do they feel about all of this, right? What's going on with them emotionally? So for my ideal clients, they are typically stressed out and overwhelmed with what's going on in their business. Like I said, they're usually at a point where they're putting so much time and effort into their business, and the more time and effort they add onto their plate, the more tasks they add onto their plate is no longer resulting in more growth. So they're doing more, but they're not earning more. They're not growing more. So that, of course, leaves them stressed out, overwhelmed. If they're not really doing much marketing, or they don't really have a firm grasp over their marketing strategy, a lot of times they're feeling stress and anxiety about what's going to happen next. Where's my business going to be in 10 years? Is it always going to be like this? They worry, they think things like, it wasn't supposed to be this way. And they're kind of like, second guessing because they built their business to have time freedom, and now they don't have that time freedom to spend with their family. It kind of feels like they're doing it all for nothing. So a lot of it is, for my clients, it's going to be more stress, overwhelm, worry. Those kind of emotions are the things they're dealing with. And then another thing, so those are really the three most important. If you can figure out the things they want, the problems they're dealing with that you can solve, and all of the emotions related to those problems or to not having those things they want, those are going to take you the furthest as far as creating a very persuasive marketing message, because you can just really dial in on even just creating pieces of content and creating offers specifically based on helping people achieve what they want, helping them get what they want out of life, helping them make their own personal life experience and their story better. And then just, taking away their problems and eliminating things that they might have dealt with for years. Like if you're in the health and fitness space, a lot of times people struggle with weight loss for their entire life. So if you can solve that problem for them, you are literally changing their lives. And a lot of times, these emotions they're dealing with, it's not like someone's stressed out because of a high ticket price on the car they want or whatever. This is like deep-seated, childhood trauma things that are going on, that you can tap into in your marketing to stand out, to be different from the other people who are selling products or services like that. So as a bonus thing to ask yourself and to put into your messaging would be to look at, okay, where are they now? Because we talked about before, they might be educated on what you offer, or they might have no clue that what you offer exists. Or it could be that your thing is new, or there's not a whole lot of options with whatever it is you offer. And so people just, the market just doesn't know. Or, for example, again, going back to like the health and fitness space, or for me, and I'm doing consulting, these are things that our target market is very familiar with. They absolutely have a million options available to them. So it's not so much, you don't have to do, any educating on that necessarily. You can kind of meet them where they are, which is going to be a much more informed consumer, and start addressing some of the questions they have, start addressing objections, and setting yourself apart by demonstrating some of these shared values that you have with those people. So as a bonus, getting back to what I was kind of ranting about here, is that you want to look at where are they now, and then where do they want to be, and then what are the steps they have to take to get there. And you can break down content, or even break down the messaging on your website to explain what it takes to go from where they are to where they want to go, assuming that you have a product or service that fits in that. Like ideally, you want to be able to take them through all of those main steps, or you at least have a very pivotal point in helping them get to those steps. Sometimes there are things that are not going to be in our control for whatever we're selling. There's going to be some element of that person has to, take action on their own. So, for example, again, with like fitness coaching, you can give them the diet plan, you can give them a good workout program, you can give them accountability, but ultimately you can't actually go and drag them out of bed and make them go to the gym and make them stick to the diet all day long. So there's a certain level of there are going to be some elements that sometimes are not in your control, but it doesn't mean you still want to make them aware of that. You want them to understand the full picture. You want them to have they should have clarity on what it's going to be like working with you, how it's all going to work, what's expected of you and what's expected of them. So if you want to dive even deeper into this, into how to create this brand story and come up with this messaging, then I've actually put together a free guide that's linked down below in this video. It will take you through all that, not only explaining more about how to create your brand story, but also how to put it to use, how to make sure that it's not just something that is, like Google Doc that just sits there, but you're actually putting it to use to get more leads and to grow your business. So check that out, and I'll see you in the next video.